Hey, welcome. It's Brian, and today I wanted to talk about my top 5 progressive rock singers of all time. All of these are famous. If you have any understanding or have listened to prog rock in the past, you'll know all of these, so no huge surprises. But I thought it'd be a fun one to do. For me, there is no conversation about progressive music and singers without John Anderson, and he is kind of top of this list to me as far as importance as a singer, as a composer, as someone who had a concept and really, really pushed the elements of yes pretty far. I totally love all the catalog from the 60s and 70s. I also like Magnification and anything without John Anderson, except maybe drama, I don't consider yes. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. But what small amount I've read, it really seems like John pushed them creatively as a band to do these long form pieces and kind of expand what they were doing. And I know they worked really, really hard on a lot of these big pieces, kind of constructing them as they went. If you listen to Bill Bruford at all, that's probably partially why he may have left the band. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what it always seemed like. So, yeah, John Anderson to me is the voice of progressive rock and always will be. And his voice is iconic. It's still strong. Even to this day, he sounds amazing. I'm hoping to see one of these tours that he's doing. So I only happened to see John and Yes twice. Once was on the Magnification tour, and once was after. And so I have not seen him enough. So, anyway, first on my list, not necessarily in order, but he's the one that always comes to mind. Next would be Ian Anderson, who with Jethro Tull, the first 3 or 4 albums, really love. Thick of a Brick, love that one. Not so much into Passion Play or Songs from the Wood, or Unwrapped, but I picked back up around Broadsword and the Beast. I really, really love that record. Crest of the Knave, weirdly, I like as well. So with me, Ian Anderson is just this totally iconic voice, whether it comes to the words, and he has the great skill of being a really great guitar player for his music for sure, and really brought to life, again, almost like a John Anderson, these pieces that might have been a simple, beautiful folk song or idea and expanded them to a whole side of a record. Now, the most succinct work that they do, of course, is Aqualung, which is an amazing record. I've just always been drawn to Jethro Tull and Ian Anderson's voice. An incredible singer, very iconic for sure. So that's that one. Next, we have John Wetton, who, to me, that why I say John Wetton is because basically UK and the 70s King Crimson, the 3 records he sang on, to me, I always loved the timbre of his voice, the delivery, although I don't think he wrote a lot of the lyrics. There was another guy from another famous band that wrote some of the lyrics, Palmer James or something like that, and I forget what band he was in, but I recently read who had written some of those lyrics, and I was kind of shocked by who it was because I had never put the name to a band. Anyway, John Wetton went on to do, obviously, Asia, which to me isn't a prog band. That's like a pop band with some cool players in it, with maybe 1 or 2 big hits, and the rest to me being pretty much unlistenable. I think for me, Lark's Tongues and Aspic, Starless Bible Black, and Red are 3 really incredible records for progressive music and for me in general. And I think John, whether you think he's a great singer or not, I think those records, the vocal delivery is really cool, and it's very immediate and kind of personal. And he had to sing a lot of words that were kind of silly at certain points. But still, he really did it with a lot of conviction for sure. So, John Wetton, great bass player too, but we're not talking about bass players, just talking about singers. So I'll always associate him with King Crimson. And next is Greg Lake, who, as you know, was on the first two King Crimson records, and I always loved his singing on those records, and that was it. ELP is a band that I am slowly kind of getting back into. They were never my favorite, but I think after doing so much talking about progressive rock and kind of going back to my roots and listening to stuff I listened to 20, 30 years ago, or things I didn't listen to 20 or 30 years ago, I am now revisiting. And ELP is one of those. And there's some incredible pieces in there. And Greg singing is great. And a lot of his solo stuff is incredible as well. So I'll just always, again, kind of like John Wetton, associate Greg Lake with the first two King Crimson records, which Wake Up Poseidon is definitely a top five progressive rock record for me, for sure. So Greg Lake. Next on this list is a band that some may not even consider progressive rock, and that is Justin Hayward from the Moody Blues. There are a lot of records where there's only two or three songs that I really love, and more of their bigger conceptual pieces, the longer stuff, I like less than kind of the more succinct and shorter, but really moody, emotive driven pieces that they were so great at. And again, these are me reflecting on 40 years of listening to progressive music or more. And I always just loved his voice and his songwriting. And the band, to me, not necessarily in the same realm as the bands I just mentioned, King Crimson, yes, Jethro Tull, musically speaking, but they really created a cool, different approach to that music. And lots of great textures, of course, to the Mellotron. And I just think there was some great songwriting in there. But I don't point to any of those players as being like on the level of ELP or King Crimson or Yes or whatever, Jethro Tull, even in a way. They were more song focused, but yet made a huge impact on me. And Justin Hayward as a singer, again, it could be only 10 or 12 songs that I really love, but they are really, really cool and important to me. So, anyway, those are my top five progressive rock singers. And let me know what you think, if you have thoughts, or with ELP, if you have stuff to recommend, that'd be great. I am Brian. Thanks for watching. See you soon.